Don't Look Up is the newest Netflix film with a cast that's actually worth getting excited about. I was lucky enough to see this film early, and I'm going to give you my quick thoughts right now. Hey buddy, how's it going? My name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and thank you so much for being here, clicking on this video. I'm sending you positive vibes your way. Today I'm going to give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler review for Don't Look Up and tell you if it's worth a watch. If it's your first time here and you want to see more early movie reviews just like this, first time movie reactions, and hangout live streams where we talk about movies, then definitely consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate all the support. Come join the BrandoCritic family. And don't forget about that bell notification so you never miss a single video. And please make sure you check out my partners at Movie Scene Canada as well. Their link will be down below in the video description. So, we got Don't Look Up from director Adam McKay, and you know him from such films as The Big Short, Vice, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, and Anchorman. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Timothée Chalamet, Cate Blanchett, and a ton of other actors. And the story is about two astronomers who find a comet in outer space that's coming down to Earth, and of course they're trying to warn everybody, but no one really believes them, so they go on a giant media tour to try to tell us about our impending doom. Is this movie worth a watch? Absolutely. Now, I'm going to start off with a little tangent. I do have a point to this, but science fiction films, I have a point to this, I promise. They normally take place in a society that is different than our own in order to tell us something about the society that we currently live in. Whether it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away or a futuristic version of Earth, they often take place in societies that are different from our own to exaggerate certain elements of the society we currently live in. Just like this movie, Don't Look Up does the same thing. It puts a mirror to us and creates another reality that's similar to ours, but it's a little different. We have a female president in this movie. We have CVN as opposed to CNN. We have Bash as opposed to Apple, this cell phone tech media company. But this movie creates that society to tell us, yes guys, if a cataclysmic event happened, this is exactly how we would act. Now, it is a coincidence that this movie's coming out during a pandemic, so I feel like it really hits home in terms of the relevancy right now, but it definitely works. Like, this film really shows us that we don't care about the really important pressing issues. We just want to know about the really dumb, trivial shit. And trust me, I am guilty of all of this. I'm not trying to say that I'm a saint or that I'm better than anybody else. Trust me, I'm just as guilty. And it hits home a little bit for me too, because in my local news in Vancouver, Abbotsford, British Columbia is just getting destroyed by flooding. And we really should be doing more to help the people in need and help those really pressing issues. At least this one is local. But what are we talking about? Oh, Taylor Swift's new album. We finally know what's happened to her and Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, who the hell cares? In this movie, we have the two astronomers, Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, on this talk show with Tyler Perry and Cate Blanchett. This kind of, Good Morning America type show. And they're just on the science segment, even though they're telling us that this asteroid, or this comet I should say, is coming down to Earth to kill us all. 100% certainty. But of course, it gets the science segment. And of course, Ariana Grande, with her breakup and her getting back together with her DJ boyfriend, that gets the main course. That is the main story, the main runtime. That is what everyone cares about. And of course, rightfully so, Jennifer Lawrence, you see it in the trailer, she goes, "You're all gonna die, you're all gonna die." What happens? No one takes her seriously. She becomes an internet meme. Oh, you're that crazy lady from TV. Oh, great entertainment. This movie also shows us that we chase pleasure all the time. We as a society, we can't feel bad. We always want something new, something better. We are always chasing pleasure. Now, in the movie, there's a company called Bash, which is headed by Mark Rylance's character, which is kind of like a more cynical version of Halliday from Ready Player One. But he creates this smartphone that senses the user's emotions. So whenever you feel sad, you immediately see some video of a puppy, some cute video to make yourself feel better, and you immediately get scheduled a therapy session so you're never sad about that moment again. Right away, it senses your emotions. And again, this movie is an alternate reality, and this movie is definitely being a little bit hyperbolic, for sure, but it does that to teach us something, to say something, to tell us a message. And this one is probably the most obvious thing. We turn everything into politics. Now, I talk about movies on YouTube. Again, little tangent, but I do have a point. I like talking about movies, and I have this YouTube channel because I want to talk about movies with you guys, of course. But for the most part, I find that when I get into disagreements with people, I'm not actually talking about the movie itself. We're talking about politics. we're talking about wokeness in Hollywood and, oh, you didn't like the Eternals because you're a cis white male, or any of this nonsense. Why can't we just talk about the movies as opposed to the politics and the political agenda behind the whole thing? Now, this movie does talk about how politicians definitely need to bring everything into politics. It's kind of their job, but really the pressing issues, we can't talk about the actual pressing issues and how they help people. They got to talk about how it helps them get reelected. But then we also see the citizens, every single little thing gets turned into the us versus them mentality. Like, for example, in this movie, we have the comet coming down to Earth. So they're talking about, okay, well, we need to save the planet, of course. But what's more important? Getting rich. Of course, on the comet, there might be some materials that might actually help us make more cell phones, make better cell phones, make more computers, make better tech, and of course we can sell them to the public. Right? Money talks. And they care about re-election more than the greater good. Like the scene where Meryl Streep, the president, finds out. And by the way, Meryl Streep is great in this movie. I will talk about the performances in a second. But have you guys seen Devil Wears Prada? How hateable she is in that movie? Man, I could punch her in the face. I hate her that much in that movie. Here she gets pretty damn close. Now again, never hit a woman. It's just a joke. In this movie, she really plays a real hateable and you see her walking in with her hair and her bling, right? Like there's a close-up on it, so you're supposed to notice it, where she's just really only focused on how she looks and how she looks to the public and getting reelected. And of course, when there's the midterms coming up, she doesn't really care about it. But then a scandal comes out. Oh crap. Well, maybe I need to get this new thing for people to talk about. Oh right, the comet. Okay, then approval ratings go up, and that's why she cares about it. Not for the actual planet, not for the actual people that she's supposed to be leading. No. Money and re-election. But the citizens, right? When we see the comet in the sky, there gets the hashtag just look up movement. But then again, the politicians, hashtag don't look up. And of course it gets into the whole Democrat Republican thing. Now I'm Canadian, I can't really participate in that too much. It is kind of fun to watch from the Canadian side of the border. I will admit, you guys are entertaining down there. But everything gets turned into politics. It rips families apart. You see it in this movie. Characters cannot talk about these things at the dinner table because it just, people just argue with each other too much. We just need to get along and stuff. And I know when people say that, it's like you don't want to be a part of the conversation. You don't want to actually help. You just feel like you're more above everybody else. And there is a wonderful cameo in this movie, I won't give it away, from a certain Marvel actor. And they say the same thing, which is really, really great. It is a funny movie after all. And of course you have the people, oh, it's a hoax, man, this isn't real, the government's trying to control you, it's all supposed to make you afraid, fear is power, all that stuff. It is a great mirror for society. Now for the performances. Everyone gives a great performance in this movie. Of course, Adam McKay with The Big Short, I was very impressed how he handled all of those big actors, and he does a great job here as well. Leo, he's Leo. He's always great on screen. He does get into that shouting acting a little bit, but of course that's what you get with Leo. He still does a good job. But Jennifer Lawrence, I thought she was really funny. She really stole the show, I think. She was probably the best actor in this movie. Cate Blanchett was unrecognizable. I actually forgot she was in this. I'm like, oh, right. Of course you see her on the talk show and she's all dolled up and everything, but she fooled me. I'm thinking, who's that actress? And I saw Cate Blanchett's name and I knew she was in this movie, but I just totally forgot. I was completely into the story, and then I see a scene with her with less makeup and I'm like, oh, right, Brandon, come on, don't be so dumb. But hey, she fooled me. Unrecognizable, great performance. Meryl Streep, like I said earlier, she plays a great but you know who is really hateable? Jonah Hill. Oh my god, what a prick. And while his character doesn't really add anything to the movie except for some surface level humor, but his purpose in the movie is just to add to the whole, the government is nothing but a bunch of unqualified rich assholes. That's about it. And Timothée Chalamet is in this movie, and if you guys know me at all, I'm not a big fan of him. I don't really know why. I think he's like the Shawn Mendes of actors. I just don't like him. And maybe it's this arrogance that I get about him. Maybe this is just me. But I'm like, dude, you get to kiss J-Law in this movie too. God damn it. The musical score, there's a couple scenes where I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Star Trek The Motion Picture. The music is actually pretty good. There's not many scenes where there's just orchestra, but when there is, it's really well done. Now, this movie's not perfect. It does have a very long runtime where I felt like, at the hour and a half mark, I'm like, okay guys, I feel like we're dragging a little bit here. Let's keep it going. And there's a few running gags where I'm like, okay, first time, it was funny. They brought it up again, funny. Then they bring it up again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I'm like, okay guys, you get it. You don't need to keep bringing up a gag that happened in the first 5 minutes of the movie at the 2 hour and 30 minute mark. It's done. You did it, you milked it, it's fine. But really, those are my only complaints with the movie. It is pretty long, I will admit, and some of the jokes, they really milk them out. And Jonah Hill, some of his humor is surface level, but for the most part, I was laughing quite a few times in this movie, and it does show a mirror to society. So for an overall rating, I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. So now you know my thoughts on Don't Look Up, but what are yours? I'm very curious to know what you think of this movie, so let me know down in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. And if you wanna see more videos just like this, hit that subscribe button. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at BrandoCritic. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.